Live, live, live. Guru Nation, we're live. This is DSCS Talk. No one else but Chris Sauber and myself, Dan Sfera. Lots going on in the site world, man. Lots going on. Consolidation, PIs, most of them happy, some of them wanting more,
So you
some
can
of
only
them
be
not happy.
so you're only speaking what's in your direct influence, I would assume.
Of course.
Okay.
Or what I hear from colleagues. I know you're more involved on the client side with our clients, although I get down a little here and there.
Sure.
Um,
You answered an email over the weekend from a client, I believe.
I think so. Yeah, I have a new email system that's it's actually cool. It's brought more sanity back to my email. Brought some sanity back to my inbox, which was much needed. I was missing way too many emails, and this new one, I'm not gonna name who it is, but if you're curious, message me later. Forces me to not miss stuff.
So to be fair, because some people may think they need something similar to what you're describing, how
Yeah.
many emails a day would you say you receive?
Uh, I have not even connected all my inboxes, but
Not
let me
including
see.
spam. Not including spam.
No, I know not spam. Just in my box. Let's see. Like on one given day. All right, Guru Nation. Just hold on. This is like riveting stuff. Hold on. Uh, I don't know. Couple hundred.
Okay. Yeah, it's about double what I receive. So I probably receive on average about 100 a day.
Yeah.
And I'm think thankfully I've had a system, but even that's getting a little cumbersome.
Yeah. You
So
might need this, but I don't
I
know. It's
don't
a little hard to give up.
I don't think so. But so just FYI to everybody, if
Well,
don't
it's
do
actually a relevant topic for site owners.
exactly. So if you're getting inundated with bulk email, you got to have a system to manage your inbox, right?
And wait till you get your first study and you put yourself on as a CRC. God bless your soul. That you start getting things out of window alerts, not out of window
Yeah.
alerts,
What and then what's
lab.
important?
Yeah. So, and I have that with all of our studies. I'm still getting like, I recently stopped on these latest studies putting myself as a coordinator, thank God. But, the damage is done, man. What once you're on one study, it's over. And then these IRBs start spamming you too. Join our conference, all these kind of things. By the way, there's only one conference you should join and attend, and it's next year in Oklahoma City. SOS, saveoursites.com, saveoursites.com, saveoursites.com. LinkedIn user, identify yourself. And the
So
second LinkedIn user, also identify yourself.
so back to the topic at hand. So Dan uses I don't even know what he uses, but it's some sort of AI software. Um, so you
Yeah. It's
so you could
actually it's called Spark if you're interested. I pay for it, $5 a month. It's so
okay.
far a week, life changing. The AI reply is not that great, but it lets you adjust it. So I think it's working. It's gonna get better with time.
Now Dan doesn't like because I've told Dan how I manage my email as a hint. Maybe you should try this.
Oh, this is Alicia.
For years I've told Dan this, and he doesn't like my system because you can't monitor your email on your phone if you use this system. At least I don't think you can.
Mine?
No, I'm talking
Oh,
my
yours.
system.
Yeah, no, I could not exist with yours.
So I just have folders for everything, and once I've dealt
Wait,
with
so
the
when you're
email, it goes
mobile,
in the folder.
hold on. Hold on. I don't think I ever actually broke down your workflow. So when you're mobile, you just don't check email. You're like a Quaker
Nope,
at that point. Like
nope,
a like a
nope,
what is it? An
no email.
Amish. You're
No
like
email
Amish.
because it'll confuse the shit out of sorry. It'll
Oh, you could
confuse
cut.
me.
This is perfect for cussing.
Okay, it'll confuse the shit out of me if I do it that way. Because I have multiple folders I have to deal with because I'm dealing with different topics from different clients that send me attachments.
But you have folders in the mobile. You can
Uh,
just move them.
Sure, but I'd have to take everything on my laptop and put it on my phone. That's part A. Part B, I won't know if I don't move these things to their appropriate folders if they've been completed or not.
I see.
I
Okay.
just think it would be a
Hey man,
nightmare on
to
my
each his
phone.
own. Like, in fairness to you, you've never received complaints that you've missed emails, and I did, like, multiple times a week by my
Right.
own staff, occasionally by you very nicely tell me, and then other people who don't wanna tell me. They just send it to me again. So, yeah, no more of that. Like, a lot of that's money that could potentially fall through the cracks that we can't afford. So $5 a month,
It's
it
well
seems
worth
like
it.
it solved my problem. I think we're getting to the point where eventually the AI will answer emails for you on your behalf. And if it's something it's not able to answer, it will ask you um,
Yeah, sure.
how to answer it. Because like
Just to
the simple stuff is like, oh, thank you, just be pleasant. And you can choose like have a neutral tone, have a positive tone, have a friendly tone, have a negative tone, and it will do it. And the more you use it, the better it gets. So
sure.
wait 5 years, 10 years, I'm not answering email anymore. This thing's doing it for me, populating my calendar. That's it. That's the future, man. I can't wait. Can't
Well,
wait.
it'll depend on the design of the software, but absolutely. You can tell it to schedule everything or check with me for certain things, and yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's not ready for my style yet because I tried to like have the AI reply for me already, and I don't try to set up calls. Like, if you want a clinical research job, happy to help you out through the videos, but I would be spending all day on the phone. It wanted to reply back, sure, send me a few dates that work for you to have a call. And I was like, no, 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 we can't do that. No, no, let me just answer it for now. But it'll learn. It'll learn.
Not enough time in the day to schedule a call with everybody, huh?
I mean, we can do where the site owners, if you're really interested in the CRA or CRC Academy, we can. It's really been you and Monica. Um, but yeah, like just general, like, hey, I'm not getting calls back for my resume. Like, neither is anyone else. And what are you doing? Like, it's always the same thing. It's, well, how many sites have you gone into? None. Okay, well, there you go. Stop talking to me and go out there and go into sites.
Right. How many applications have you submitted for a CRA position? 2. Well, that's just certainly not enough.
Right. And shout out to Diana who came to the Inato after party at ACRP and SOS. She landed a CRA job
Oh,
after
yeah?
prayer. Yep.
Yeah, good for
I
her.
saw today, so shout out to her. Alicia, now we know it's you, so thank you very much. Um, so site owner world, what's on your end? Um, what's going on your end with first with the site in San Bernardino, and then expand it to the clients?
Well, I don't really have any updates in regards to San Bernardino. I'm going there later today. I'm supposed to be there at
PI
1
is motivated.
I'm supposed to be there at 1 o'clock. Hopefully, we're bringing a study that he actually his complaint, and a lot of
Dr.
you
Z, shout out Dr. Z. Does he have a LinkedIn? I'm gonna look him up.
he probably does, but, a complaint of a lot of sites, and it's very understandable, that a lot of these studies that you're awarded are more difficult than you anticipated to get patients for, and that's probably Dr. Z's primary complaint. Um, Hopefully, we've got a study coming for him, hopefully, that's a little easier than any of the previous studies he's had to get patients for. Um, he has a database of these patients, so it shouldn't be too difficult. But yeah, that's a huge complaint of many sites that a lot of these studies are more difficult than anticipated to get patients for their studies.
And what's the professional advice for these complaints?
Well, obviously, you have to enroll at least one patient. The sponsors will very much frown on you if you throw up a zero. Um,
Yeah, you don't want a goose egg.
No, no, they really despise that. Now, if you promise them 10 and get you 1, they're not gonna be happy with that either, but it's a far cry from getting 0. Um,
Yeah, I recently we picked a phase 4 study that they were very desperate on, and we thought we understood, myself and the PI, and then last minute after the SIV, the sponsor brought up, "Oh no, they have to already be on that med, and it's not paid for. They have to like get it themselves." And we're like, "Wait a minute. That's totally different than what we understood. We're not gonna be able to get anyone on this study." So it happens. It sucks. it also sucks that it was a big sponsor, but we have other study with that same sponsor, so hopefully they just wash each other out. um, but yeah, okay. What about on the client side? What's going on there?
Yeah, I got a client question right here.
You want to ask it live?
Well, it's not really pertinent to anybody. Well, so I had a conversation with them. They're a GI site,
Mm,
and I asked them if they had an imaging center lined up. They're a new client.
yeah.
They said they didn't, so I said, "Well, that's because they're asking for things that they need to address immediately." I said, "Well, you get a GI study, you're going to need an imaging site. Well, there's imaging in all GI studies, for the most part."
Yep.
And so they said, "Okay, that'll be the next thing on our hit list." So now they're saying, "Hi, Chris, we're talking with the doctors right now. They're questioning the colonoscopies being done for GI studies. Do you have time for a quick call with us?" So,
They
the,
will all require it, guys. Research is not standard of care. Research is uncovering as many stones as they can, as many as the IRB allows them. There's exploratory endpoints. There's like this is where it differs from private practice. And you got to tell them, Chris, not just do you have to get a center, it's not going to be the same kind of colonoscopy that vendors accustomed to doing. There's all new software for them to look at. They're usually the one like they have to have different angles. I know in our x-ray studies there's like different angles that are not standard of care angles. There's like a another database that the vendor has to go log in and upload. There's training that they have to do. So good luck to them. Good luck,
well,
guys. This is the price you pay to start doing research.
and it goes a step further with GI. They require all imaging. I've dealt with a lot of GI study budgets, X-rays, MRIs, colonoscopies, sigmoidoscopy, all of it. I mean, they have everything.
Yeah.
So DEXA, I mean, it's
Respect.
everything. Ultrasounds.
Training for everything. A portal to upload everything. Queries. You will get queries. And they have to answer it, right? Sometimes the site can, but usually I mean, it's a lot. This is the price you pay to do research. Helen, shout out to Helen Russo, says they shouldn't embellish their databases then. Many times during eval visits, I've had sites tell me, yeah, we can get X number of patients. I generally divided that number in half.
It's
You should
funny.
probably divide it more than half.
Well, I've had this conversation with a number of CRAs. Well, to be fair, 2. Um,
That's a number.
and well, a number sounds like it could be a dozen. So, 2, and
Two is a number.
they both told me the same thing that, um, about what you're saying, Helen. They cut up whatever they're told, they cut it in half.
What therapeutic areas are hot right now that you're seeing on your end?
Well, GI has been very hot for a number of
Yeah,
years
I'm so
now.
mad we don't have a GI here. We can't get one, I don't think.
Yeah, they're good paying studies. I mean, it's a lot of it's to
Yeah.
do with the imaging.
Yeah.
Um, GI psych still relatively hot.
Yeah, psych's like becoming as consistent as oncology. Like,
Mm,
when was the last downturn in the psych market? 2012?
it was down. Yeah, I would say I was just gonna say 2012 to about 2016. It was down.
Okay, so we're going on a decade of like hot psych
Yeah,
market that doesn't look like it's gonna slow down.
I think it's uh, so. I think it started progressively getting hotter in 2016. It hit its peak because everything kind of fell off in during the pandemic, right?
Yeah.
Including
Yeah.
psych. So you
Yeah.
can't count those years. There was like 2 or 3 years there that everything fell off. If it wasn't COVID related. But now I, it it's probably the hottest it's been since prior to probably back to 2008.
Helen says ophthalmology and dermatology are hot. Yeah, I've seen
Mm,
derm.
that
Derm
was
also was a little bit hotter, at least for me, like a year ago. But I've seen a bunch of new derm stuff too. We just haven't gotten any rare
so
diseases. Yes, rare. I
that
see.
that was the next one I was going to say is dermatology. Ophthalmology, not so much. I don't see a lot of those. Do you see a lot of those, Dan?
I stopped looking because we don't. Our ophthalmologist that we were almost gonna get. Well, we did get him. He was a sub I, but he was gonna be a PI. He was like 93 at that time. So now he's probably like 95, 96. So, and he's still going strong. Shout out to him. But there was not another ophthalmologist around. We have optometrists we can work with, but unless the sponsor's desperate and they're okay with them being coupled with like a family medicine doctor, it's probably not going to happen. So I've learned how to pick my battles and where to spend my energy here.
So you're not answering my question. Have you been seeing many ophthalmology studies?
No, but I stopped looking, so my
Okay.
answer doesn't really
Okay.
mean anything.
So you're not tuned in to those
No,
studies.
like Helen, I'm assuming is tuned in, and she says it's hot.
Hmm.
She put in the same category as derm.
Right.
And then rare diseases too. I know some sites that do only rare diseases. Like they'll get like 20 studies and only enroll one patient in each, but the budgets are crazy on those ones. Have you done many rare disease study budgets?
A few, not a lot.
What have you noticed about those budgets? Like they're good or
Nothing in particular. They're average.
wow. So these sites are just
Matter of fact,
enrolling like one or two patients and
some of them are actually even low because a
mm,
lot of them are coming through NIH,
yeah, I try to avoid those ones.
and they do not pay as well as
Yeah,
the
no,
bigger sponsors.
no. They got to keep their money circulating inside the system, not enough to go outside the system.
Yep. And I would say on average they're paying about 20% less than what a good sponsor budget would be.
You want to give a little bit of a 2 minutes on this while I answer one of my CRCs?
I have no answer. How am I going to answer that? I don't even know how to answer that. Okay. I mean, sorry, Helen, I have no answer, and Dan's going off on something else. So, um, but in terms of med writing, I know we're kind of looking for a med writer, um, a little bit more on the experience side. So, if you know anybody, or maybe even you yourself, um, but in terms of specific characteristics or therapeutic areas, yeah, I really have very little knowledge in that space. Um, I'm more on the site side in terms of what I know to a great extent, though expanding. We're looking at moving on in terms of CRO projects. So yeah, that's why we have a call for
Lana Stevens, really quick, you're live. Just say something for Guru Nation. You're in the mic.
really throwing them on the spot.
CRC rocks.
CRC rocks. Okay, is that the next T-shirt at the SOS conference in Oklahoma City?
Yes.
Are you coming?
If I'm invited.
Well, yeah, you're invited. We're inviting you live here on the show.
Oh, invitation accepted.
Okay, and then Chris is on too, and he's sneezing.
Oh,
I'm
hi,
not
Chris.
sneezing.
All
Hey, Lana, how's it going?
right, Lana, I'll call you later. Okay.
Okay, have a good
All
one.
right. Bye bye.
All
Sorry,
right.
patient
Ad-
screen failed due to some arbitrary nonsense, and I had to
addre-
take care of it.
so
That's a
address
pet
Helen's
peeve of
question.
mine. Screen fails for no reason. Okay, who?
Helen, her question.
I
Address
see
it.
a lot of wait, so since I muted myself, what did you actually do? Okay,
I
I
said
see a lot
I
of
have no comment on this question
I
or
see a lot
statement.
of ophthalmology experience required for med writing is what I'm based. Okay, yes. And then Dr. Hyatt says Trial 360 can help you with medical writing. Hey, that's good.
I
Uh,
did. I did. He might be in response. That might be in response to what I said. I said we may need someone with some experience in medical writing soon.
and then Helen says hit me up. So, I mean, this is what these lives are about, making connections. Talk about a vertical that AI is going to transform, guys and gals. I think it's medical writing is going to be a big one. Matter of fact, I think some of the people doing the medical writing are already using. They're dabbling a bit in the AI, I would say, even if they say they're not. Come on, you guys are. It's too good.
Well,
It's too
even
good.
you. So Dan and I wrote a book. He's got it on his desk there behind him.
And that was all by hand, everything
But even Dan's now dabbling in email by AI.
using AI. I'm not against it.
Yep.
I think it's a tool. I think you need a human layer. I think if it improves efficiency and you can increase output. I mean, I'm reading like a really good book called The Sovereign Individual right now, and it was written 25 years ago, and it's like basically spot on for a lot of the things. I recommend everyone read it. Um, what are some of the things sites are having issues with presently from your end?
Mm, well, one client that's probably been with us close to the longest of any of our clients.
Mm.
They keep losing their PI, in which they're partners in the company. When I say keep, 2 times now. That's a major issue, and that happens to the smaller sites as well. Um, losing your PI is part of the calculus. Um, there's really no way, well, other than what Dan and I did, and we kind of regret it now, I think. At least I do. Um, did. That
Ah,
that locks them in.
buying real estate. You can't. You have to tell them the whole thing. You can't go 80% of the way there. We bought a building with a PI of ours.
Where we're all on the mortgage.
Yeah, and then Chris gonna take a sip of his coffee so he doesn't have to talk more.
Yeah, you're talking. Go
That's
for
it.
it.
That's it. Nah, there's nothing else.
Well, that locks everybody in,
Yeah.
opposed to just a partnership on a piece of
For
paper.
life, or until you sell it, at least. Shout out to
Yep.
Dr. Z, who's
We're
uh,
try we're
another
trying to talk
PI of
in
ours.
so we're trying to talk into buying the building.
Yeah. German says, "Thank you. Look, these we're making connections. Guru Nation, if you do nothing else, you watch these live streams, you put your website, you interact with people here, and you get response. Like that's biz dev. You don't even have to leave. Maybe you're on the toilet right now.
Wow.
Well,
TMI.
you can be. You've never watched a live stream live on the toilet?
No.
Huh. I have. What we're using AI
No,
for?
more TMI.
Well, I've never done one on the toilet yet.
That's coming, I'm sure. All right.
Yeah, there's like a philosophical debate on whether that's appropriate or not. What we're using AI for is quick and dirty education for therapeutic areas with which we're unfamiliar. Yeah, exactly. That's what you're starting with now. I mean, this stuff is just beginning to come to the surface. There's so much more that's I think I'm very optimistic on this stuff. I do think people get way too um what's the word I'm looking for? Hopeful too soon. I think these things take time to develop, especially in an industry like ours where you don't want to experiment and break things. Um, patient lives are on the line, but clearly AI is a useful tool. I'm already using it for my videos. I'm using it for my emails now. I'm using it to schedule things automatically, recording all our Zooms that we're on. Do you like that thing that joins in the Zooms, like the note taker?
I've never looked at it, so I can't
It's
answer that
it's mainly
question.
for how we have like so many different stakeholders in our businesses,
Yeah,
and
so they have the notes of
rarely
the
that they're
meetings.
on. Yeah,
Sure.
and they have a
But
summary too, so they could skip like my bad jokes, your
sure.
good ones.
Oh, thank
Um,
you.
yeah. Gogh. How much capital do we need? I love these questions. Love, because the answer will shock you. And that'll be a cliffhanger for our next live. No, we're going to get into it right now. How much capital do we need to start a small startup for clinical research? $0 and 0 cents.
If you do it right,
Yeah,
and you have the time to do everything yourself.
$0 and 0 cents. I work in the healthcare sector, have some connections with internal medicine physicians from Rochester. If you shed some lights, please. Van Gogh, first of all, nice doggy. Um, that's a good boy right there, bringing back the stick. Maybe girl. Listen, Nothing. Okay, when I started the YCT, it was $0, 0 cents. Now I wasn't dependent on an income. That's a big thing. Okay.
Wait. And you're really skipping something pertinent to that scenario, but go ahead. Maybe you address it.
Yes. Well, it's $0 and 0 cents, but all the time, right? Then there was like a few pieces of equipment the PI didn't have that we got. So like a couple $100. Then we had help getting studies and finding the physicians. Like getting the physician was the first step, right? Which Van Gogh already has. What am I skipping?
Well, the fact that it sounds like Van is research naive, in which you are not. So
Well,
you
yeah, they
you
say
know
work
it.
in the healthcare sector.
Yeah, but that doesn't necessarily imply
True,
research to
true,
me.
true.
So he probably has zero or very little knowledge in the research space. So
You could still learn. It's something you can learn on the fly.
yeah, you can. Um, but that's the difference between your scenario and what would be in
Right,
place for him.
right.
He you can do it from scratch because you don't need any guidance. You don't need any help. Uh, Van probably would, but maybe not.
Um, if you take on one study, Van Gogh, and you have, let's say you watch my 5 hour video, so you have an overview, you read our book,
Yep.
you get our help, but now you're not talking about free, right? We charge 1,500 a month, no contract really. Um, there's ways to do it for very little, right? And Umar is saying, how do you say you don't need to spend millions of dollars to know that your compound is lacking efficacy and you can redesign the compound with the better efficacy and safety? No, I'm saying you can start a research site for free, not the sponsor. No, that's not going to be. If you start a sponsor company, that's not $0 and 0 cents. A
Yeah,
site, yes,
that's
is
millions,
addressing Van
tens of
Gogh.
millions, hundreds of millions, whatever the case
Yes,
might be.
yes. But Van, reach out to us, Dan at theclinicaltrialsguru.com or Chris at theclinicaltrialsguru.com. It will still be me replying, but the AI will prompt me to reply to you. So that's the difference. I'm an international medical graduate. I'm working as a physician reviewer in the hospital. Yeah, so you've got the clinical stuff down. Now it's just GCP. Basically, you get one study, you follow that protocol like your life depends on it, and you can't really screw it up, right? Make sure you obtain the consent, make sure you're following GCP in the protocol, and then you'll learn so much more for your next study and your third one. You're going to level up to where now then you could hire a coordinator
And
because
do
now you're
4
going
or
to have
5 or
cash
10
flow.
studies at one time.
Exactly. Yeah. So not like 24/7, my mistake. Just reach out, Van Gogh. We'll talk because you already have the hardest part. You already have the PI. You just need one or two of them to say, yeah, let's do it. Get them a
Dan's
study.
mistaken, that's not the hardest part. That's the
I think
hardest
it's the
part
hardest part by far.
hardest part right now.
No, I think yeah. Your first PI is the hardest problem to solve as a site owner.
Right now.
Well, yeah, but right now is where everybody's at if they haven't started a site.
So the next steps he's gonna think is harder once he gets to it.
Well, actually doing the work is harder if you're doing the work. Shout out to coordinator. That's why even if I'm on a live stream, I answer their call.
No, I meant getting a study,
Yeah.
then getting patients for the study.
I still think finding a PI is harder than finding a study.
Really?
Yes. If you're in
Okay.
the right market, like Rochester, it doesn't seem very competitive. Do we have sites there, clients?
Not that I know
Upstate?
of.
This is
Not
upstate New York. It's not
yeah,
really that busy.
not that I know of.
So you're in a good location, I think, for this. And you just got to know the right people. Like paying Chris and I would get you a study like in 3 months. So it's not hard.
Three
You can't pay us anything to find you a PI.
3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months. We'll get you a study, no problem. You pay us that same amount, 3 to 6 months. We can't. We're not getting you a PI.
Well, we used to in that time frame.
Right. I
We
still think it's the hardest part.
Okay, fair enough. I don't, but we don't have to agree.
Yeah, you can say it. I mean, everything's hard ultimately. You got to do the work. You know what the hardest part is later? It's keeping staff happy, retaining talent because your staff are going to eventually move on to higher salaries and become CRAs and get recruited by a university. And like
Hmm.
you know, that's becomes the hardest part. But I still think it's easier than that initial study or two, especially when you don't know what you're doing. And I think that we can agree on.
Yeah.
Ask lots of questions, says Helen, when you get that. And then you have a full time job. Well, you're going to have two full time jobs as a coordinator. Good news is it's not a full time job running your own site until you start seeing patients for your
Yeah.
study.
It's very
So
minimal.
you're like a year. You can start your site and it won't be a full time job for at least a year. I
Or
th-
if you're lucky/unlucky and you get a study right away, and which does happen occasionally, you're 6 months away.
well, we both have dogs barking. Um, our Pete, shout out to you. Hello, Guru. I'm a passionate to become CRA. I did my master in advanced pharmacology, but I'm finding difficult to enter this field. Can you guide me, please? It's a tough. Want to know what's tougher than being a site owner right now? Being an entry level CRA. I think that's
So
almost the impossible
it's a
task.
job. It's a job to get a job.
We can agree on that, right? Being an
But
entry level
I
CRA right now,
I agree. It's harder work to get a job than to
get
have
a
the
study.
job. No, harder. It's a harder job to get a job than to have a job.
Okay, yeah, yeah. Although I talked to our CRA yesterday. Shout out to Kevin. He drove out from San Diego, did a video with him and Katie. Um, he says it's tough to be a CRA, man. Maybe he's one of the better ones. Um, can you guide our Pete? Because I think people are tired of my same answers for these questions. But what's yours?
Yeah, I mean, it just takes a lot of work to get a job. I mean, and what I would do if I were you is develop a system, and I would run with that system for a month, and then I would make um, amendments to your system as you progress, right?
What
So
would your system be
change.
right now if you were our Pete?
Well, I
I'll
mean,
tell you mine.
so obviously you'd be on Indeed looking for job openings. Um, I'd also be on LinkedIn looking for contacts there. Just I would be emailing everybody. I'd be emailing everybody my CV, and some sort of letter of recommendation from somebody. Um, and I would probably change the CV up a bit here and there. The cover page, I would certainly have a cover page with my
Nope.
story. And I would change that would be the part that I would make changes to um, as I progressed to see what gets me more attention. Um, but I would run with the same thing for a month. And again, it's a full time job to get a job. You should be putting in 40 hours a week doing this.
Yeah, I would go a slightly different route just because hindsight's 2020. I would go to the sites first because the sites are still hiring.
Yeah, but he wants to be a CRA. He's saying
I
CRA.
know, but the market doesn't care what you want to be.
Okay, well, I wasn't addressing taking any position. I was addressing the CRA.
Yeah, I mean the market. I want to be Superman. The market's gonna tell me what I can do realistically, and if you don't have experience, sometimes you should go to where it's a little easier to get hired, which is right now at the site level, and then become a CRA in 2 years because
Are
you do
you
have the education for it, for sure.
are you Arpit, are you in the UK or are you in the United States? It says you did your schooling in the UK, but it doesn't say where you currently live.
Thing is in the UK. In
Well,
the
that's an
meantime,
assumption.
it's an assumption. RP, get back to us right now. Helen says, "Yep, nearly impossible to get into CRA work." And if Helen says it, I believe it. Helen, we need to do a podcast, by the way. Please, we haven't done one. Also, the CROs, the big CROs run CRA boot camps. Look into some of the research certificate programs available at UCSD, ASU, etc. Okay, Umar, there is a high prevalence of any or every disease in developing countries. Think we should go there specifically for rare disease studies? It depends what the FDA says. So if you want to get the drug approved in the US, it's not what you want. Chris, we just did a CRO call earlier today, and
We
they
did.
Robert asked them, "Hey, why didn't you go this pathway?" And they said, "Well, three letters, FDA." So FDA is like Mike Tyson. Everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth. So you can do whatever you want, but then the FDA is going to say, "No, I don't think we can do that. I think you need to do in the US."
I could be getting this wrong. I would place the FDA more like King Edward's, I believe. Wasn't he the one that cut off his wife's heads when they didn't have males? Right? King Edwards?
Whoa, what is that?
I'm just
I don't know.
asking, right? It was King Edwards, right?
I don't know.
Um,
I was asleep during that part of history.
anyhow, I'd say
Is
the
this
FDA is
like
more in line.
Bridgerton?
I
Like
would say
Bridgerton?
I I would say FDA is more in line with that, right? You do as they say, or you're off with their head.
Helen says FDA is tougher than God.
I don't know about that. King Edwards, though, lose your head if you don't do what they say.
Head on a swivel? Does that count or a different
You
analogy?
still may lose your head if you're not doing what they're telling you.
Can you please both share your email address? So Chris's is
You already spit it out there,
it's on the audiobook. Chris at thecalangocharlesguru.com. Chris at thecalangocharlesguru.com.
and then Dan's the same. Just Dan
Dan at
except for Chris.
thecalangocharlesguru.com. AI will filter the hell out of it. Henry the Eighth. Yeah,
Oh,
Chris.
okay. Thank you, Helen. Wasn't
Helen's
Edwards.
on
Okay.
top of Helen.
Yeah.
Come on. We
Did
need
you
to
have
do
to
a pod.
Google it, or you knew that?
Who knows? AI. She used AI. And our Pete is in the United Kingdom. So it's a safe assumption.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, it's even tougher there, man. Like the US is still like for all the crap everyone talks about it, still like the world leader in this kind of stuff, R&D infrastructure for these kind of things. I mean, China's really catching up though. Um, but they're a closed system. They're a walled garden, so to speak. But the US, it's pretty open. The FDA will allow you to they'll accept data from other countries to get drug approval, but you have to run it by them and regulatory affairs. And it's not just what you want to do. If you end up doing what you want to do, you're going to get a, a rude awakening pretty quickly. And after many millions of dollars spent. Helen knew it. Helen,
Fair enough.
please, we need to do a podcast, okay? I don't know why we haven't done one yet. It's not okay. Anything else? What do you got going on today on your agenda?
I have to go screen a patient at breakthrough.
Ah, okay. How's that going?
It's going. I mean, not busy enough, but hopefully that will change soon.
Are you the raider?
Yeah.
Ah, on our latest study, they didn't let me be a raider, and I smiled inside.
You're like, thank God, huh?
Shout out to Jaime and Susan Harris for picking up the slack, being way more educated than me, and very dutifully doing their rating skills. Thank you, guys both. So I don't need to be involved in that study. I've been doing more of a QA role at my site lately, and even that we're supplementing that with some students, some interns. But I think they got hired, so might need some new ones. What else after that? Are you talking to Dr. Z?
Yep. So
He wants studies, man. That guy, we're gonna get him
yeah,
some
I'm
studies.
gonna talk to him about the one study in particular,
Yep.
see if it's a good fit, because I don't want to have to be solely responsible for recruitment.
The issue with him is he likes derm, but he's not a dermatologist. He's a family medicine.
Yeah, he really, really likes derm. Like you didn't stress that enough.
Like no, but he's got like certificates for derm. He does all
Yep.
kinds of derm stuff, like cosmetic stuff. He
Yep.
has a passion for derm, but he never became a dermatologist. He just stayed internal medicine and
Uh,
entrepreneur, business owner, like one of the best ones I know from physician wise.
he's board certified family practice.
Yep. And which Dr. Smith is the same. And we're doing, I only have 2 studies for Dr. Smith right now that we're actually actively enrolling on, but I'm working on a few others.
You're about to have a third for sure.
We're about to have a third, and then we did get like some specialists that Smith would have done those studies if it wasn't for them, but they are more appropriate. Like
Sure.
we got a COPD and asthma study, and Smith actually suggested the pulmonologist to do it. So, but point is, you can get a lot of studies for the internal med doctors too.
Absolutely.
Get me his name, and I'll pass it on to my friend looking for derm, Marco Zahedi. Helen, thank you so much. And that they can contact Chris at the clinicaltrialsguru.com.
How do
Chris,
I?
you might have gotten a study for Dr. Z just for being on this live stream, man.
That's great. I can't type in the comments, so I don't know how to put it up. His name.
Marco Zahedi. I'll put it. Let's put this on the screen. Gotta take some real estate right now. Ah, that's a picture of me during COVID. I let the beard go. I let the beard go. You know where that place is, Chris? Pop quiz for Chris.
No.
You and I ate there a few times. Good Italian place in Anaheim Hills.
Mm. Was that? That's not Anaheim Hills, though, is it?
I literally just said Anaheim Hills. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's in the valley. It's not in the hill.
What do you mean?
The Italian restaurant that we went to about a half a dozen times
Yeah,
during
and
COVID.
that's in Anaheim Hills. Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I would think. I would have thought that's not the hills though,
Well,
because
there's
it's
no
more in the
such
valley.
thing officially as Anaheim Hills. It's all Anaheim. It's just like colloquially referred to as the hills
Okay.
once you get past the busy streets.
Okay.
Um,
Fair enough.
I think there's a zip code that's like unofficially the border. But yeah, we were there. That was our COVID spot, man. We even did some podcasts there. You and I.
I just drove by that on Father's Day.
Man, you
That
should have gone
restaurant.
and talked to the owner. He's a pretty cool dude.
Should have went there and ate instead of where we went, where my kids took me.
Where did they take you?
A Chinese restaurant that I did not care
Where?
for the food
Westminster?
in Placentia.
Weren't a fan?
No,
They should have taken you to either Vietnamese food or this place right here.
no, I like Vietnamese and Thai. I'm not a huge Chinese food fan.
I don't think I've ever had like truly authentic Chinese food. I've had like PF Chang's, stuff that is tries to beat
I like
the
that
magic.
better than authentic Chinese.
PF Chang's is great, but it's definitely not Chinese food.
I even like Panda Express better than
Yeah.
authentic Chinese.
I just don't think it's actually Chinese food. Like it's just the theme, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, this place we did a podcast here why you should not start a CRO. And what did you and I go and do? We started a CRO too. So, any sponsors need help? Reach
Hit
out
us
to us.
up. Yep.
Why you shouldn't start a CRO? Because if you don't know what you're doing, you should start a site first. And
Yep.
even then, 2005. What is that? Almost 20 years of me doing this stuff. Robert Goldman runs circles around us as far as CRO talk.
What did I text you today about that?
Yeah, basically this.
I,
I can't keep up. You said.
I said I feel like I'm a research naive site again at a site selection visit. I have no idea what they're talking about.
And these people want to start CROs like with no experience in research. You're beyond crazy. It's not even crazy.
Yeah, I've been doing this for 16 years. Yeah, good luck. Good luck knowing nothing about research jumping in as a CRO. There's just not possible.
Helen, can I take off Dr. Z now? I know it's shameless plug. It's for our site, but hopefully we're able to write it down. Amit.
Wait, I want to add one other item.
Okay, let's put
Dan and I have done a couple. No, not to that. Dan and I have actually done a couple of projects as CROs, and still I don't know enough.
We've done audit preparations. We've done actual monitoring for 3 years, maybe more. We've
No,
done
we've
like
been the
5 years of
CRO
monitors.
on 3
We've
projects,
been the CRO.
and I still don't know
We still
much.
exactly. There's so much validation and it's usually around like stuff and like digital validations and adjudication took me forever to figure out. All I know is it's super expensive. Um okay, yes, I got it. CROs or SMOs. Yeah, thank you, Helen. And by the way, for real, let's do the podcast. I'm not joking. Ahmed, for starting a site and finding a PI. Oh my gosh. This is my other question I hate. You guys pushing my buttons today. For starting a site,
Dan loves this question.
I
Everybody
hate this
listening and
question.
watching, keep this question coming directly to Dan. Dan at
I
theclinicaltrialsguru.com. He
hate the
does this to me all the
question.
time.
Thank you. My AI will filter you fast. I hate the question, not the sender. For starting a site and finding a PI, does one need to write a business plan before approaching a PI? No. 2 letters. No. The PI doesn't care. All right. You want a
Unless
business
they
plan?
unless they do, and then you do need to write one.
No.
No,
No.
if they care
No.
and say, "Where's your business plan? Bring me a business plan." You can
No.
still try and talk to them, but maybe
Then
it's
you do
better to
this.
prepare
Then
one.
you do this. Okay, let me show everyone right now. I'm gonna actually share my screen. This once and for all. Let's get this done with.
Don't have any of
It's
your
not gonna
personal
be once and
passwords
for
on it.
all. It's not gonna be once and for all. You go to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Okay. This is where you'll land. All right. You click on this. Open a clinic. Boom. There's Dr. Illyri. Shout out to Dr. Illyri. He's our psychiatrist. Watch the below 2 videos first. Boom, boom. The comprehensive guide to starting a site, part 1, part 2. This is your business plan. When we go through this stuff,
What if someone's
right?
listening
Every
to
single one of these bubbles is a slide.
competition?
Boom.
Operation.
Screenshot. There's Chris walking around the site. Screenshot. When you're
Approving.
done with that one, you go to this. Same
And what-
thing. Screenshot. That is your business plan,
Think of that.
right?
Okay.
You don't need it. You don't need AI. You don't need any of that crap. Here's how to find, compensate, and retain a PI. Here's practical ways to get studies for your site. Here's how much money do sites make. And here's all kinds of other crap, right? You don't need a business plan. People like to waste time with this stuff. You're wasting time. Go talk to the PI. Go talk to them. That's your plan. Ahmed, shout out to Joey real quick. Ahmed, here's your business plan. Go talk to 10 PIs before the day's over, before the
So
sun goes down.
good luck with that.
Go talk. Serious.
Go
What are you
talk to
going to
one.
write down? What are you
Find
going to
one
write
that'll
down?
have a conversation with you.
I wish Ahmed can click a link and be on right now. What are you going to write down? Like what? That's your business plan right there. That's it. People like to pretend they're doing stuff instead of doing it.
Trust me, Ahmed, Dan's not trying to be insulting.
It's not Ahmed. It's this question. We get it. How many times, Chris? This question.
And it always aggravates you.
I don't understand why, but I don't know.
See, he's aggravated right now. It's funny.
And Ahmed, even if I had a business plan, which I actually do, but I made it after the business was established, and it's a plan for how to grow it and its systems. Like, what's the system for QA? What's the
So,
system for? And it's not SOPs.
so
I'm
can I,
talking system. Even if I gave you that, that's what works for me. It's not gonna work for you because it's not yours. Like you have to make your own.
so just to be nice, let's be nice
I'm
to Ahmed.
nice.
Let's be nice to Ahmed. So Ahmed,
No, shout
really,
out to Ahmed, man.
you really don't need a business plan for a PI. I've spoken to a number of doctors considering being a PI. Not one of them has asked for a business plan. Your business plan really is more a necessity for if you're going to take a business loan, which both Dan and I strongly suggest not doing.
Yeah.
In that scenario, you may need a business plan, but don't do that. But I disagree with Dan. If the doctor says, "Okay, I'm interested, bring me a business plan," then you need to
Wouldn't you
create one.
screenshot those slides I just showed?
Sure, sure. I mean, that's the only scenario in which I would have a business plan is if I had a conversation with the doctor says I'm interested, but I want to see a business plan. Then I may create one.
Sure. And that's where you go there and just boom, Command V, or how do you screenshot? Command Shift 3 on my computer.
Okay, on a PC, it's all print screen or control
There you
print
go.
screen.
There you go. That's the hardest part of it is getting those slides together. That's it. Joey Allen Finro.
Hey, Joey, what's up?
Make clinical research great again, he says. We're going to make a site owner out of you, Joey. Truth, preach, thumbs up. Helen says, I just told my 15-year-old you want me to do a podcast. She laughed at me. Well, let her laugh some more, Helen. What time can you get on? Let me
Hey,
know. Message me. Joey Allen Finro says, let's go. Ahmed says, thank you guys. You guys may have saved us a lot of time. I'd rather you spend that time, Ahmed, mapping out doctors. Here's a business plan. Find a PI, find a study, get patients, repeat. Make
yep,
money, collect
yep.
money.
It's not
Pass
that simple.
go,
It's not.
collect 200, pass go.
It's not that simple though. It seems simple the way Dan puts it, and that is actually how you progress. But
Facts.
it's not simple. Easier said than done.
No. Simple, not easy.
Yeah.
The execution's the difficult part. But by the time you execute, what do you need a business plan for? You need SOPs, not a business plan.
Yeah, and we provide those full set.
Way to bring it back. Chris Sauber, that's why you're on the anything else? What else do we do?
Everything.
Ahmed Idris, rip up your business plan, man. Or
No,
have
don't do that.
ChatGPT write one.
Yeah.
Here,
Right.
you want to see something cool? Let me show you my grok.
Can you put a
Here's the
video?
business
Can
plan.
you put a video into AI like ChatGPT or Grok?
Yeah, but not with Grok and with ChatGPT. No,
Well, like
there
it'll
are
take the
things.
audio out and make it into
There
text.
are there are AI that can do that.
Okay.
Well, let me just show you something real quick. Okay, please give me a business plan for a clinical research center. This is the value of a business plan. It's taking 2 seconds, maybe 5. All right, buckle up for a wild ride into the world of business planning. Boom. Mission statement to boldly go where no clinical research has gone before. Put blah, 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 blah. But if your doctor wants one and you don't want to screenshot our slides, here you go.
Very simple.
That's very good.
Yeah, took all of about 5 seconds.
Financial projections. We project revenues of 10 million in our first year of operation.
Wow,
Whoa, Grok.
very
You
optimistic.
smoking some something with a 20% growth rate in subsequent years. Our
Wow.
expenses will include facility costs. See, this is wrong. This is where the AI is wrong, but this is how valuable your business plan is. Like, what good is this? What are you actually going to go do? Ours is way better. The one I gave you guys on the clinicaltrialsguru.com, that's a realistic grok. And we made that in 2015 before AI was just like a movie at that point. There was literally a movie called AI. Joey Allen Finner, like, subscribe, comment, share. That's right. That's it. I think I'm done ranting.
Okay, good, because I gotta
It's
go
not
get
rant.
ready.
It's upset that more don't do it and more get stuck in this
Sure.
La Brea tar pit of like you
Liberated
just can't
pit.
get past like the dinosaur crap, you know?
No, they go extinct.
You're gonna be fossilized. This AI, if we wait 5 more years for you to make a business plan, this AI is actually gonna make a site. And they're gonna make 10 million in their first year because it's Grok.
Let's go Terminator.
All right, that's good. Anything else?
No, I gotta get ready to go to breakthrough.
Helen, I need to talk to you. Please, Ahmed, in all seriousness, if you need help, reach out to me. I'll give you my damn business plan. It's not gonna help you. Joey, We got a lot to catch up on. Chris, you get shout outs too.
Yay, shout out to me.
What about Dr. Z?
Yeah, I'm gonna go shout out at him.
Let him know that we shouted him out on the live stream. What would he say, do you think? His reaction?
He
Get
would
me a
just
study.
he would chuckle.
He would chuckle and say, "Did you get me a study?" And we would say, "Well, yes, we did, vis-a-vis Helen Russo."
Yeah, maybe got a study.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Until next time. See you later.